Hey guys. I feel sad, but I have some good news. I've been producing on the keys. There's a few beats I'd like to show you. They're actually quite elegant. But I'm just wondering, am I even in the mood to show them, which doesn't contrast with or go well with play the fucking beats, brother. Because at some point, right, it would just become a pawn for entertainment. That's the sole reasoning. Is say, play with your shit or get the fuck out. But so many things to talk about. Let's do it. Because I'm convinced that one of these will actually be good enough. Or maybe 3? But see, the thing is I've actually been putting some serious work into beat making. You know, ever since I first realized, hey, you can utilize... it sounds silly, but ever since I first realized, like, hey, you can utilize any note in any way you want. Ever since I first heard the glory of an actual note through a song, I completely changed my perspective on everything. Music before that was completely sampled for me, as in 100% sampled. Then I learned what songwriting really is. And there was this one cute song I made back in the day. It's called Jamie. And I can't really tell you what it goes like. Except it was purely a sampled song. Completely sampled song. And then, as it ends, you realize it's been 2 minutes of me just slowing down the sample, adding drums in, and calling it a day. When the reality is, I actually think I have the potential to create actual melodies. Interesting melodies. Great melodies. Through solely the keyboard. So that's a huge thing for me. So there's 3 songs I'd like to show you. The first is 63. The second is 65. And the third is 67. The first one is in F major and the last 2 are in C major. And I'll do that, and then maybe we can discuss the songs or something. So, I'm actually I'm very happy. I'm extremely happy with the song. So, now I just want to use the word. So I thought it was pretty good. It's not as good as the two other ones, but actually my main problem with this one is that it lacks like cohesion quite severely. Um, but I liked it. The mixing felt very off though. Like keep in mind these are just works in progress, of course, but the mixing felt really odd to me. I had a pretty big problem with just like one part in the bass as well. But all in all, it sounded like pretty good. It wasn't like bad or anything. So let me play the two other ones, yeah. Okay, so like so to me that is like two times, at least two times, probably three times better. Because the thing is it actually has like a lot of ponents. To me, you know, the value in it having ponents alone, and it feeling like it belonged. Like the other one, it kind of feels like it's really off kilter in that it's never ending in its changes. It feels drastic in how much it changes. It's interesting because the next one is actually the same way, but I like it a hell of a lot more too. Like I guess like there was a point in showing you the first one. I mostly wanted to show you the last two though. But yeah, it's pretty great. It's a great song. I think it's a great song. You know, actually, it sucked because I showed my brother this completely different take, and he still liked it. But all along there was that in my files. So anyways, this is the last one. Please enjoy. Okay, so that was it was worse than the last one. It was better than the first one. I thought it was kind of beautiful in its own right. But then there would be a part that would lose me. Then I thought it was beautiful in its own right. Then there would be a part that would lose me. I thought the start was so glorious and beautiful. You know, that's actually for real. Like I thought the start, more specifically, not the very first part, although that was very beautiful. The second part with the violin, right after that, I thought that was really glorious. I thought it was incredibly amazing, actually. But then I heard this like one like little like bass thing that I added in. Space moment. And I was like, nah, you know, it's not good enough. And that's what I've been noticing is that music seems so complicated at first. Music seems blasphemously complicated at first. And it feels like as time goes on and as you listen more and more, because I could swear I experienced this myself, like, there was no tonality, then there was some tonality, then there was a lot more tonality. But it's only about, I want to say a week ago, but it feels it feels like it's been a few days since it really hit me that the notes are important, but on a deeper level. It's like, it is incredibly important to maintain the right grasp with your notes. So just do whatever the hell you want. And it's interesting because, well, as artists, we always put limitations onto ourselves, you know. It can actually be our biggest flaw, to limit ourselves. But, you know, it's funny because I actually have held these songs kind of dearly to my heart, even though none of them are perfect to me. The second one might as well be there, in fairness. But it's not quite there. It's funny because I didn't even work on that one, and I feel kind of ashamed. But, you know, that was worked on like 2 days ago or something. You know, maybe we are palpable until we are not. But what's interesting about that point is that I never actually quite understood that argument, you know. So there's this artist that starts off really massive and just writes these like 2 or 3 really great, beautiful albums. And then it just tragically falls off the fucking rails. I've never really understood it. Because the thing is that you think, well, as you make music more and more, you grow to master your craft. So how can you unmaster your craft when you've mastered your craft? That's how I felt about it. Granted, it creates it creates kind of this like contrast, which is pretty interesting. So I know that my homie Weezer, the band Weezer, they created these 2 beautiful albums. And then they created this really homogenized rock album that didn't really make sense. And I remember like the first time I listened to it, I was like, what the fuck is this? You know, it doesn't sound anything like the first Joe. I was in love with the first albums, you know. And I guess that has just been dawning on me, like, if you are to successfully master your craft, how can you then fuck up your craft? So then I guess you get into different perspectives at that point. Like, what does it mean to fuck up your craft? If people are liking the music, then people are liking the music, and that is great. But I cannot deny that I've seen artists decline before. It has happened. It has straight up fucking happened, you know. So I've always found that to be a really interesting point. How does that even happen in the first place? Anyways, I could swear that one day I want to release something, it is going to be epic. The actual album that I will release someday, some fucking day, presumably under my own name, Matthew Frenat, presumably, will be the most beautiful album ever. But, I'm realizing a lot of things. To really get there, you must not stagnate. You must be your best self. To really get there, furthermore, you need a conceptual idea, you need a team, you need, like, the point is that in every amazing album, there's a reason for it being that way. At least that's how I've seen it. In every amazing album, it's almost like there's something holding it together. And what I'm not as sure about yet, but I'm sure someday I'll be more sure about it. But what I'm not sure about yet is that it feels like sometimes, for example, I'll pick a key because this key means depressing, sadness, anger, or something, and then I'll just try to write a happy song. I guess my point is that I want my album to be absolutely consistent. Okay, like sonically, musically, I want it to be very accessibly consistent in its sound, and I want it to accomplish exactly what it's meant to accomplish. And what's interesting is to take it back. Maybe that is the point after all. I'd argue that some songwriting quality was lost, which kind of beats that point, but I'm sure with other artists it's perhaps just a matter of not having the right elaboration in terms of concept, Like, the songs could be like almost as good, nearly as good, but it would stagnate. The work would stagnate, and therefore people would say no. It's possible, really. Yeah. I'm pretty happy with it overall. I'd give the 3 tracks like a 6 out of 10, but don't get me wrong. That's actually a good thing, Because I could swear that like the first songs I was making with notes, I'd give like a 3 out of 10. Like fucking 1 out of 10, probably, actually. Not very cohesive songs at all. Anyways, all of that to say, I think I'm gonna go. I hope you understand that I love you and all, and I was thinking about, for a long time, I was thinking about putting game reviews on my channel, and I just don't know anymore, In a way, kind of feels so goddamn right. In a way, it feels so goddamn wrong. And the thing is I became tired of the simulator talk. Because every time that I post a new video, I talk to you guys about the world being simulated and how our minds are all interconnected and how we all secretly or literally exist in outer space. I don't know, this and that. How the world is a facade, it's a lie, despite being known as the truth and this and that. And actually, I got tired of it. I really got fucking tired of it, I really got tired of it. Anyways, for real. You are really awesome. And I'm sorry. I feel the need to say it. I'm not sure why. Because I put some trippy mad cow shit out there, So I'm sorry for that. Sometimes I feel like I just don't give a fuck about what I say. I honestly, like, sometimes I feel like that's just the best way to describe who I am. I don't care about what I fucking say. I just say it anyways. It's almost like I have no filter, you know. Like, I made this, there's a few things, oh god, there's a lot of things I could clarify up in this bitch. I've never met the devil. But the thing is, I care about that. So I made this comment, okay, here's how it goes. So I made this comment, I said, the devil has entered Nebet in an adjacent position. And I'm sure that left a lot of people thinking, what the fuck is this guy talking about? Well, you know, maybe the truth is, I just have tried and tried again to live, to breathe. Yet I could swear that 6 months ago, a year ago, there were genuinely demons on my back, you know? Like, there were demons on my fucking back. And, maybe they just wanted me to die. How I perceive that is that as long as someone lands, because, you know, adjacent means next to you. As long as someone isn't right where you are, then maybe you are the sole owner of your lands, you know? And I felt bad about that comment. Because the thing is I just kind of like threw it out there. And I felt really bad about it. Because I felt like it just tripped people out, okay? I didn't want to trip anyone out. And the thing is that, like, I felt so many times in my fucking soul that how do I put this? Sorry. I'm struggling to say it. There was this other comment, okay? If I could just think. That's what I'm thinking. If I could just fucking think right now. Because I'm being crowded by a load of Mard. And you know, every time I grow so optimistic, I become convinced that it's for a reason. Like, I become beyond convinced that it is all for a reason. All too convinced. You know, I'll tell you a lot more, but I feel like fucking shit. But I love you. And I'm sorry for the constant barrage of discomfort, because that's all I can feel I've put out there. It's fucking uncomfortable shit, you know. Anyways, I love you. And my name is Matthew Fournette, or Matthew Fournette, whatever you want to call me, it's okay. Call me whichever, I'm good. I've been through a turbulent crisis. I have. I feel myself getting better, I do. But I'm so fucking fucked up over it. I'm actually literally physically fucked up over it, you know. Let's see.